Radio Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 1045. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
Yes, do not adjust your set. It is Wednesday as this comes out for the next 3 weeks. We are on Wednesdays to talk about the Doctor Who spin-off, the war between the land and the sea, which, of course, we have watched somehow. But if, of course, you are not people who have been able to watch it yet and are waiting for it to come out on Disney Plus sometime in 2026, well, guess what, kids? We will, as we probably already explained before this episode even started, We'll be hiding the reviews from you if you don't want to listen to them. They'll be chapter marked. There'll be little noises and stuff like that. So if you don't want to be spoiled, if you want to hang on until and wait like good honest people who live outside of the UK to watch the show and listen to us talk about it, your concerns will be noted, basically. And with that, anyone else have anything to say before we launch into our review?
Nope.
Good. Here we go. There you go. See, now we're behind the spoiler wall.
That was the shortest preamble ever.
I know, right? I know. I mean,
didn't talk about hockey or CanCon?
None.
Or...
I don't know. Well, because here's the thing. Usually when we do banter, Warren, let's just say Warren, usually his opinions start to come out through the course of the banter before we get into it. And we sort of have to say, okay, we're already talking about it. Let's talk about it. So that's why I do that.
That's when we get the emails.
Exactly. Yeah.
We don't get emails, except for political ones.
That's true.
Bring them on, I says.
That's true. Anyway, yeah, War Between the Land and the Sea. Parts 1 and 2 dropped on Sunday, December the 7th. Also, the Sea Devils, a 90-minute redux, which we'll perhaps talk a little bit as well after this. Because 2/3 of us have seen about 2/3 of it total, I think, all things considered. Chris didn't have a chance to watch all the thing, but we'll first talk about the War Between the Land and the Sea. The episode 1 called Homo Aqua, episode 2 called Plastic Apocalypse. Guess what happens in that one? First one written by Russell T Davies, second by Pete McTighe. We'll do it episode by episode as best we can. Homo Aqua. Warren, I want to go with you because you were very much down on this thing.
No, I wasn't down. I was indifferent. And,
you were very indifferent. It's okay.
I was very indifferent. I was just kind of like, well, I guess I'm watching this, and I watched it, and I kind of enjoyed it. To be honest, these first 2 episodes, it's not peak Davies, but it's definitely toned down a bit Davies from the hand waving highs of season 1 and 2. Take that for what it will. This is more kind of here's a story and I'm going to tell it to you. It's not without its little touches here and there, but like for instance, Homo Aqua, where the guy from whose name escapes me, the American general, who's he goes, we used to call them Sea Devils. We're better than that. I'm like, you murdered children. I don't think you could take that stand, sir.
We're better than that. Oh yeah, we'll get into that a little bit. Yeah. Well,
but okay, just to get into that a little bit. Okay. One of the things that bugged me, not to be one of those people yelling about Doctor Who, but when Doctor Who was like being progressive, let's say in season 1 and 2, it really tried to go, look over here, we're being progressive. And this doesn't do that. It just does stuff, and it's like, well, you can notice it or don't. I don't care. And I'm like, yeah, that's how you should do this stuff. I have nothing against the stuff being in Doctor Who, but you don't need to have a parade about it, right? And this didn't do that mostly. So other than this Homo Aqua
apart from that, yeah, the self back patting, like
exactly.
advanced past, like it was having an argument with someone who wasn't there, basically, to say that they could have just said, in times of mythology they were called sea devils. What should we call them now? Don't say we're better than that now, because that just sounds like you're just being smug. It sounds smug,
is what it sounds like. Yeah.
It is smug. It's also, at least in my mind, I don't know if this was intentional or if I'm reading things into it, It also contrasts very effectively with episode 2, where Kate says, "We're just children playing a guessing game." Because humans think that, oh, we've come so far, and then we meet the updated Homo Aqua of Sea Devils, and it's like, oh, we're fish in a pond. Pardon the comparison.
Yeah. Anyway, that bit could have. I'll be honest. My radar was out there.
Well, yeah, same here.
Like, especially given how much RTD it was getting interviewed by someone on Radio Times and just like up. They're actually called Homo Aqua, and we'll explain why. Oh God!
But other stuff
we've done that rant though.
Other stuff like the fact that Barclay's kid is, I think, non-binary. Or two people in wheelchairs. They don't make a big deal out of it. It's just there, and I'm like, well, that's great. That's wonderful. I'm more than happy to see that kind of stuff.
Side note: the guy who plays the translation person was also in Sex Education with Shruti Gatwa.
Oh, really? Is he a wheelchair user too? I assume.
Yes.
Oh, good.
He is.
Good. Chris, I never got your initial impressions of these first 2 episodes. What do you think?
Short version, I really dug it. It's not without problems. Definitely not without problems. But it was, I thought it was reasonably compelling for the first couple. We'll see where it goes from here, but I'm into it. Bring it on.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably a damning comment about the whole era. I have 3 or 4 pretty big problems with it, and yet I probably enjoyed this more than any episode of the Shruti Gatwa era. It felt like proper TV for once in this time period, which was saying something. You were going to say, Chris, there? Sorry.
I was going to say one thing that might color your perspective is this is, I mean, it's a Doctor Who spinoff, but this is new, its own thing, detached, whatever, that, watching Doctor Who and feeling any disappointment there. Like you can feel disappointment with The War Between and not really care. Versus watching Doctor Who, and if you feel disappointed, you kind of care a lot more than really you should.
Yeah. So basically, Chris, you're saying that that because there's less pressure on The War Between than there is Doctor Who, like I feel like I'm going in without any expectations. Is that what kind of you're getting at?
Less pressure that people like us would feel. Casual viewers probably wouldn't care either way.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lack of smugness that I think pervaded around the Gatwa era of Doctor Who, where it was kind of like 10 rows, but ratcheted up to 15. And
self-regard, self-regard.
Because of the nature of the show, for the most part, it wasn't like that. Which
is really, really, really interesting, because this thing is rife for exploitation in that way.
You could be
so damn preachy in something like this.
And how much of that is Disney, not even influence, but just, we're on Disney now, so we can kind of be bigger, you know what I mean? Whereas this is not designed for that, even though that you could clearly see Disney money in it.
Yeah, there's money in it. I mean, let's face it. The Disney probably sent like 3 notes. Where's Doctor Who? Okay, we'll make a new scene with Doctor Who in it. What about these other 2
what
things?
nows? Okay, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like, whatever. We got Bluey. We got the money. I don't care. Do what you want. We're going to show it next year anyway.
Contractual obligation album.
Yeah, I do feel like this is probably like Disney was pretty much probably hands off with this. Oh, you already got the money. You're still suspended by a certain amount. Go nuts. It's $10 million. What do we care? I don't think Disney had much to do with this at all. In fact, there's no Disney on the front of it. That's a giant BBC logo on the opening credits, isn't it? It's like the same size as the font. I mean,
very disproportionate size.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy. I've done my usual having the thing play out in behind me. But they have it. It's weird every time there's a Doctor Who spinoff. What are the credits going to be like? And it's different. There's just a big giant C and stuff, and
which is fine. I thought that was perfectly fine.
Yeah, there's no pre-titles or anything like that. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of like other aspects of the plot. I do like that it's just basically an HR screw up 5 years ago.
He's a doofus. That's what I like about him. He's kind of just a goofball to begin with, anyway.
Yeah, I'm trying to focus on the sort of the central plot elements before I focus on like the 4 or 5 little tiny things that bothered me and are still kind of weighing with me. That were prevalent in the first episode, and there's one giant one in the second episode that I thought was annoying. But actually, 1 or 2 or 3 things in the second episode that I thought were annoying. But
well, before we shift too far away, I wouldn't mind talking about Barclay.
Yeah,
sure.
As a character and his, because I'm kind of digging his character and his
same here.
His whole family and situation and all that kind of stuff. It feels, I'm not going to say realistic necessarily, but it feels approachable.
Yeah, like unlike the Doctor coming in and swooping around and doing his or her big deals, he's just like, well, I'm kind of barely grasping for air on this one. I don't know what the hell's going on, which is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm. And as a human in this whole mix, keeping it grounded by talking about how worried about his family and paying his bills and all that kind of stuff, and keeping it a little more on the same level as the audience, which for the most part the doctor can never do on Doctor Who. Mm-hmm.
I like that, he books cabs. He's like a level 10.
He's just an admin dude. Yeah.
He's just an admin guy, but he still has a secret phone. He still has a secret unit phone.
By mistake, though.
And, well, yeah, because he's on that. But, he still has to tell people, like, I work for oil rigs and stuff. And because sometimes there's disagreements when there's oil spills. Like, he still has this front that he tells his family about what his job actually is. Yeah. Even though he's just admin for unit.
I liked his panic attack too, when he's like, I shouldn't even be here. What's going on? Like, he's actually kind of properly freaking out, which any of us would do in that situation too, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not as big a fan of his almost like savantism. I don't think that's the best word, but going off script, but still knowing somehow the right thing to say at the right time, or the right thing to be impactful. For Salt, that little forced maybe.
That's that RTD that RTD everyman scenario coming through. About how an average person who works in the shops could save the universe, sort of thing. That I feel like that's the.
But
in that regard, it's very Rose.
It's also the old Hollywood trope of, this guy's a convenient idiot when necessary. It's the kind of that thing too. It's like, what a surprise. We like this guy because he's the guy right in front of us that the plot says we should.
He's John Goodman in King Ralph, essentially.
Essentially, yes.
He's a doofus and everything. Wait a second. He's the one right person for this whole thing,
Which I don't even actually mind that much, but it is pretty tropey. So
at least it's not played for laughs,
yes.
which is good, is that he has ideals and stuff. He's not just he's not like a frat boy or something like that. At least he still works for unit. And it's HR that messes it up. Like if it was just some random guy like that poor guy who wandered into that BBC News studio a few years ago.
Hero. I think your name is, that's what his name is, Hero.
Came on and says, "Here, you're our tech expert." He just, I'm no, what? That
was awesome.
He's not that guy.
Poor guy.
At least. Yeah. I thought, Russell Tovey was pretty good. I haven't actually seen him in much other than Midshipman Frame way back in Voyage of the Damned. So,
being human, I can wholeheartedly recommend.
Right.
He plays a werewolf in that.
He is a large man. Strapping as hell.
Yeah,
he's got guns.
Yeah.
And then in Years and Years.
All right, yeah. He is good in Years and Years.
And there's I can't remember the name of the show off the top of my head. I'm gonna look it up here. And I've watched a handful of things he's done, and I don't think I've ever seen I've seen a wrong turn, as it were.
Mm-hmm. While we're on cast members and to give Chris an excuse to look up the things, I knew that they were coming because they announced the cast list at the time. But Vincent Franklin, who I think was in Cucumber, I think. I know him as Stuart Pearson from The Thick of It. So he plays the Prime Minister, and then Patrick Baladi, who plays David Brent's boss in The Office, who I know a lot from that. He's the corrupt politician who I think is eating caviar with the American and French envoys.
Generals.
Which is a trope I didn't mind them continuing from Children of Earth, of just, everybody in charge sucks.
Yeah.
I know him from Ted Lasso.
He's in Ted Lasso? I didn't know that. Wow.
He's in a few episodes. He's a suitor for Rebecca.
Oh.
Juice is the show I'm thinking of. It's a kind of a comedy-ish thing. Created by and starring Moan Rizwan. Russell Tovey plays Rizwan's in-show boyfriend. Which, good show, by the way. Juice. Can recommend. BBC Three.
I see. So yeah, I mean, we haven't talked a lot about the plot or anything like that, but I think I mostly enjoyed it. I'm trying to dance around the elements that I didn't enjoy because I feel like they're not large, but there are aspects of it that I think could have been improved. But I don't want to. I don't want to rain on parades yet. So, is there any
speaking of raining,
as long as we get to them, yeah.
Sorry,
yeah. Because I definitely want to hear what you think on that front for sure.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the part that I really liked is that when Kate shows up, Kate Stewart of Unit. It's fascinating, by the way. I remember it was on the Hooniverse show where Pete McTighe sort of says, they ask him, in the unit set. He says, actually, you know what? We thought that futuristic unit set wasn't really what we wanted or needed for this. So I find it hilarious that they built this futuristic Avengers unit tower. And then once you take Doctor Who out of it, it just feels, this just feels dumb. And so they're just back in some building again,
It feels kind of dumb anyway, but okay.
Yeah.
And there's only one passing reference to the tower as well.
Yeah, exactly. So why did they? Oh boy, that's so obviously
Unit works better when it's that.
It does, and apparently so does Bad Wolf, because it's like, oh my god, look at all this money. Let's build sets that we don't use, and that's pretty much what they did. What I liked though is that all praise to Ruth Medley for Shirley Bingham. Mrs. Shirley Bingham, apparently. She was married off screen, I think. But I think too often, during her Doctor Who appearances, she was basically a quip machine, and she tries to make a quip early on in this, and Kate Stewart says, focus, please. A couple times, he just slaps her right down. This is
one of the things that bug me, though, is that this is Unit, and we're getting way too many quips from everybody, and everybody's piping up with what they think, and I'm like, hey, this is Unit. Why doesn't everybody shut up and do their jobs? That kind of bugged me. Like, the message discipline in Unit seems pretty slack compared to how it used to be.
I hear you.
It seems a little against what you would imagine a military environment to be.
It kind of reminds me, sort of take a swipe at Star Trek again, but modern Star Trek, everyone just does quips and everything. Like, there is a hierarchy. The captain is on the bridge, all right? You shut up and keep your quips to yourself. And, that's how things are supposed to, otherwise it just feels like it's just one giant work party. And you're right, sometimes like the quips, I said we should have been learning their language. It's like, okay, corporal,
Yeah. I mean, that was the part that bugged me. Not even bugged me really, but I noticed it seemed the weakest part is all the Eunice stuff compared to everything. All the back and forth in the courtroom and what the Sea Devils, Homo Aqua are up to is much more interesting.
Yeah. Well, here's it feels like a minor complaint, but I feel like it sort of stretches across everything because I think it's Russell T Davies inspired in that RTD is not a patient man. He is not. He does not do suspense well because he doesn't want to wait around to do it, is what I mean to say. Stephen Moffat's great at suspense. He'll keep the thing going until, to be impactful. Russell T Davies, in his own words, just wants to get on with it. He even said in his production notes, each episode has a title, but we didn't put it at the front. Let's just get on with it. Let's get started.
And there's a place for that, too.
Yes, but you know what? In some scenes in this, I feel like just the way that RTD likes to do things, he likes to get on with the business, and sometimes at the detriment of the actual story. Yeah, for sure. Like the first scene is like, it happens so quick. There's a fishing ship. They're fishing. Blah blah. There's a thing in there. Bloom. Like within 20 seconds. It doesn't really establish that much of a scene or that much of a feel for the whole thing. I feel like, we were kind of expecting something to be there. I feel like it would have been more effective if the slower shots show the workaday life of what's going on in this boat to show how mundane it is. And then all of a sudden there's a sea devil, like there's something moving in the, maybe on the third time that they haul up a batch of fish. There's something in there, and that's when it becomes weird, and he shoots it. I feel like it could have been drawn out a little more to sort of build some suspense to it, but it was basically treated as like a Doctor Who pre-titles cliffhanger.
I very, very much disagree with that.
Really,
I liked the opening. I liked the rapid nature of it. I liked the horror aspect of seeing the Sea Devil for 5 frames.
That's true.
Oh, it's fine, but
it starts, it happens, it ends, you move on.
Right.
It's way more impactful, I think, as a very brief thing. Because one of the things, and this has nothing to do with the War Between specifically. It's a general storytelling mechanism, whatever. Of so the tunnel for the Sea Devils to come into, was it Imperial House?
Yeah.
The tunnel they make, there's all the foo-fra and the construction and the welding and all this kind of stuff, and the filling of the water tank and the coming out of the Homo Aqua and all that kind of stuff. And then every subsequent time you see that, it's just less of it and less of it and less of it. You need that economy. That works really, really well.
Oh, that's fine.
You don't need to see the tank filling start to finish every single time the thing is on screen. That's just going to drag it down.
Oh, absolutely.
From a pacing perspective.
Yeah.
So as far as the opening goes, I think it's really attention grabbing versus the third time they pull up fish. Oh, there's the Sea Devil. No, because it's they pull up the fish. You hear the scream. They're like, "What the hell was that?" Grabs the rifle. Then Sea Devil comes out, and boom, and it's just done. It's there. It's just brief and sets a tone.
Well, we disagree on that. I guess.
I'm somewhere in the middle there. I kind of agree with Chris about the opening bit. My big takeaway is that Sea Devil. So you guys are so advanced, and you got caught in a net. Way to go, buddy! Who was this guy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because people.
Was that Uncle Clem? The uncle we don't like. He just kind of wanders into things.
I know.
It's a little disingenuous, I think.
I also like. There's some other scenes, and it happens in episode 2 as well, where. The other thing that RTD just really seems to like is music everywhere. You get the impression, you compare Murray Gold in the Moffat era to the RTD era. And I find Murray Gold is great in Moffat because he's used sparingly. Whereas there is constantly music just underscoring everything. And there are some scenes which I'm sure Dylan Holmes Williams, who directed all 5 episodes, probably thought, let's do this all with one camera. And it's just sort of swooping around, and everyone sort of talks when they're talking and like that. And there's music playing underneath, and yes, sure, it looks stylish and everything, but what it feels like is this scene is just here to dispense information until we get on with the next scene in the big courtroom, so to speak.
You can't get away from that, though.
No, there are ways to do it well, but yeah.
Yeah, it just felt like they were impatient with the scene as well. It wasn't being if it just felt like there was nothing important being said here. So why are we even doing this? That's kind of I just felt like it was being rushed, basically.
You gotta have Basil exposition every now and again. As terrible
it's just how you do it. That's
as terrible as it can be. Yeah, Warren's bang on. It's how it's done.
Yeah,
rather than the fact that it is done. It's
which is not to criticize what you're saying. Maybe they didn't do a good job. I found the music a lot less oppressive than in RTD2.
But it was always present.
It's there, but it's not anywhere near, because I made a point of kind of listening just to go, okay, is it going to be the same thing as last time? It wasn't quite as bad.
Yeah.
One bit of the music that I did like was especially when they're early on marching along the shoreline before they see the strung up Sea Devil. Just the percussive march that Balfe does, I thought was really good, really fitting.
Yeah. I mean, it's playing out in front of me now. The great sequence where like basically the ground turns to water.
I love that sequence so much.
I felt like that, like it
So
happened.
great.
It happened quick. It almost happened too quick. I felt like they should have like built up to it, like to establish a bit more of the life with the soldiers, a bit, and then all of a sudden, because basically the floor goes from like it's barely the start of the scene by the time that it's a puddle now, like I said, suspense. RTD is just not interested in suspense, and I think you could have built that up and been more effective when you weren't expecting it.
And again, I'm gonna jump in and disagree. I think it works a lot better with that, again, just like the opening, the rapid nature. So establishment wise, you've met what's his name, Morgan. You've met Abdallah,
Right.
they're not new characters. Like if they did this with like some random squatties, I think it'd be worse. But you've met these characters, they're there, they're talking, stuff happens, boom, 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 it's over. They don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on as the viewer, and you're sharing that emotion and sentiment with the characters on the screen, and then it's done, and they move on, and they see the hand and all that in the subsequent scene and all that. But I think the drawing that out would have been a big mistake.
Oh, so we got 50 minutes here. We got a
43 minutes.
40. There you go. Yeah,
Like, I feel
47
like
on
general
episode
neighborhood.
2.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like were they again? RTD is just beholden to the 45-minute thing. We got to get this in 45 minutes. Sometimes I just feel like you could stretch it and make it better, but obviously.
They're
disagree,
stretching
Chris.
it. They're stretching it, and then they're stretching it for good reasons.
Right.
And I'm not going to disagree with that. Could be times, not that I can think of any examples, where maybe slowing things down a little bit wouldn't be a bad thing. But those two specific examples, the puddle floor and the opening, those work so well as they are. I think.
Yeah, I think they
would
work
not want
fine.
those drawn out.
Yeah.
We've got all the scenes in like the hotel room. I mean, it's more episode 2. I realize I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah.
We've got like all the scenes in the hotel room and things like that, where you got the family situations, and there's your time to breathe and pause. You don't have to stretch everything out to have that slow, suspenseful thing.
And even then, there's music playing throughout all those scenes too. Like sometimes it's just like I wanted to watch a scene that. Sometimes music is there to like underscore something, but also music is there just to move something along. And sometimes I just want to watch the scene without being reminded that another scene is coming and this music is building into a transition. I've watched enough other shows now that's just sort of snapping back into this, which otherwise felt like proper television again, like from the Doctor Who era that we've just lived through. It felt like it was made with much more professionalism, if I dare say.
The style and use of music cues in the 1970s British dramas that you watch is a little bit different from.
No, it's not
TV,
even those.
though.
I'm talking modern shows. Like when music comes in
watch
modern
modern
shows, it's. I know I don't watch a lot of them, but you know what? When I do, I'm just like, okay, this is why people like this. When music actually comes in, it feels like something important's happening. But when music is always there, it's just like
I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here.
All right.
So as somebody who for me, music barely registers as there.
Yep.
So let's take a modern British, not quite military, but close enough drama. And I just want you to kind of compare the War Between with Slow Horses with music use.
Yeah.
right. Let me think now. I mean, it's a different feel, isn't it?
It's a different tone, totally different tone to the show,
it's
which is
different.
obviously
Spy
going to influence
stuff
things.
lends itself to not as much music anyway.
It does,
I
but
don't
yeah.
know. Because there's going to be like, the whole whatever stakeout scene or something. They're going to play a little
Yeah,
dramatic
but
thing.
a lot of this is a giant force is taking over the world or thereof. You're going to have bigger music for that. You just have to. If you didn't have that, it wouldn't make any sense.
Like for instance,
Fair.
like I it's tough to talk about different shows, but if I can talk about Doctor Who again for instance, like I'm just thinking of Peter Capaldi's speech in The Doctor Falls, where I stand is where I fall. No music. None. It stands out because of the fact that there's no music underscoring it. I feel like if RTD was produced during that, I think it was Murray Gold himself says, you know what? I don't think it should be any music here. And RTD says, no, you create something, damn it.
By contrast,
you get a choir in, you get something in there.
The first time we see Gallifrey in, I can't remember the name of it, the second of the three master ones.
Right.
There's music there, and if there wasn't music there, it would not work at all. Like you have to, there's some times you have to have music. And when you're bringing back Gallifrey and you see a Time Lord, if you had no music there, it would just not work. Like,
yeah, I mean, there just seems to be an omnipresent score to it, and sometimes it gets tiring, is what I mean to say. Even though Lord Balf's score is less oppressive, as I think Chris or Warren, I can't remember which one said that, but it's always present. And
Heaven Sent the music there, which is great, by the way.
It's a symphony stuff. It's a symphony, and there's
but
no one else to talk to.
Almost always present in Heaven Sent as well. So it really depends. It
is, but there's also zero conversations happening because there's one guy in the whole episode. You know,
you need the music there as filler, and as a result, you get a whole CD of the
and it's all
season
great.
box set for just the one ep.
Anyway, it did felt like we were just like trying to speed along. Having said all that, I think that telling a story over 5 episodes is the right way to go. You know, it did give me a little bit of Children of Earth vibes, especially with the fact that they're having to create this tank and filling a tank and everything. I'm just like, this feels like the 4, 5, 6.
Just the roles of ambassadors and Yeah, there's definitely a Children of Earth feel to it.
Yeah,
over and above General Pierce being there. Or I'm just going to jump the gun a bit. The lobby of the building where they have all the proceedings is the building that was used in Children of Earth.
Oh,
when there's like Capaldi walking up the steps there. And because RTD had said, look out for certain locations, and that was one that I caught anyway.
Yeah. This is an aside to Warren. Did you notice the ambassador, the first ambassador who represented Earth, Sir Jonathan? What's his pickle?
I
Warren?
did not.
He was. I think he's the guy who had like the fake hand that was a yellow hand. He was in Toast of London anyway at the Gentleman's Club. I recognized him, so I thought you might have as well. But it's been like
I didn't.
20 years since he's been in it, so that's why everyone looks older. But so. Sometimes it felt rushed, but also it felt much better, and I liked the fact that it is spread over 5 episodes. I like Unit cutting down on the nonsense from the staff while also allowing nonsense from staff.
Which is one part I didn't like about it. But,
I mean, they've cut it down, but also they've more people have just sprung up, and
Before we go to Chris's notes, which I'm pretty sure we're going to do pretty quick here, I would like to point out the plastic apocalypse part in part 2 with all the garbage coming from the sea and raining on people. That could have been stupider than it was. Like, I actually think that really worked, honestly. And that is the biggest RTD red flag of, look, I'm going to be really obvious about this.
Yeah.
And he is really obvious about this, but I still think it kind of worked. Like, that's what the Sea Devils would do. It's like, hey, here's your crap. Take it, guys.
That's one aspect, I think, that goes against Steven's thoughts of RTD's pacing.
Right.
In that it starts slowly, builds up. Is that a storm? Oh, that's no storm. Not even an oncoming one. That's my.
It's pretty effective, I think.
But you've got that suspense there. You've got that build up, and then boom, frickin' iron boat anchor almost crushes your main character.
And that, for whatever reason, maybe episode quality, that works a lot better than a pile of sand flying around London in not reality, whatever. I'll never remember any of the names.
Empire of Death.
Thank you, Empire of Death. Yeah, it just seems more. I don't know if realistic's the right word, but plausible.
Plausible.
The Titanic was a step too far.
That's your gag factor. That's your levity at the end of the.
I guess. Also, how to get from Newfoundland.
Dark scene.
Yeah, I mean, good. Like, did it rain? How did everything rain? And it rained.
Yes.
So the Sea Devils have the power to make it rain garbage.
Well, they could,
I guess they have
some
the
sort of like
technology.
Whirlpool effect that shoots all the trash out of the water.
Like the frogs in
those
Magnolia.
big waves when they come into the Thames. So they've got they can
like
control
frogs,
water. So
like the frogs in Magnolia. Yes.
Yeah. Worst part of that movie.
I thought the Titanic was a fun little touch, but again, it's just a little bit of humor at the end of the darkness. But
James
I'm
Cameron
glad
is
that
furious right now.
James Cameron's always furious.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they actually had it, in New York.
It's intended destination, yeah.
But what should have happened,
they've seen Titanic too, obviously.
If
the videos, anyway.
If it has been like thrown out of the water into the air and then lands on, you would think there'd be more like impact destruction beneath it.
Yeah, exactly. Did it come up through the water? Did that drop from the sky as well? Is there now a shipwreck? Literally every single shipwreck in the past 100 or odd years. Is that also now?
Where's the Lusitania?
Where's Lusitania? Yeah,
there are tons of U-boats. But then again, if we're going to be realistic, which we shouldn't be, because it's a bunch of stuff flying from the sea.
Right.
Why wouldn't there be also concurrent water to go with it, which is how they're projecting it, presumably, and then just drenching the hell out, because it costs too much is the reason.
Yeah.
But having said that, these effects look good. They look pretty good, I thought.
They did. The unfortunate thing is a lot of the stuff that happened, a lot of the incidents, the main incidents, those basically spoiled in official press materials, like spoilers, like trailers and RTD describing it in interviews and everything like that. Like, it just felt like, oh, okay, so well, this is when this is happening, I guess. I have, thankfully, I don't think we've seen anything from the Sea Devil City, Homo Aqua City.
Not yet, yeah.
So hopefully episodes 3 and 4 will contain more surprises than the first two episodes, because I think we've seen so many visuals from what were in the first two episodes and all the promo material that sometimes I wasn't surprised by stuff. So hopefully that will change. Even
knowing, because episode 3 is called The Deep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even knowing like episode titles or press stuff, promo materials, whatever, the whole impact at the end. Wow, we're jumping around. The whole impact at the end of episode 2 with, we've submersibles have been crushed at half that depth, whatever, is kind of like the whole impact and gravitas of that is right out the effing window. Because they're going to be there in the next episode, and it takes the impact away.
You mentioned it now. I have to tell. This is the one big thing that really annoyed me is that like all of a sudden every single human, having now spent 2 episodes talking with people who live under the sea. And they said, "Here, we are to meet here." It's like, what's there? It's the middle of the sea. Is it a boat? It's like, where are they coming from?
Yeah.
They're from under the sea.
Yeah,
of course.
Especially the military people,
right? They built it up just to have some sort of like big thing for a cliffhanger reveal, which was dumb. That was dumbest thing that happened.
In terms of pacing, though, I'm glad we're not going to their like secret base or whatever until the 3rd episode. And in fact, we see nothing of it. We don't have anything like Classic Who would have done this, where they'd have a little cut to the base, which is just some room basically, and the Sea Devil's going, "We will get them," and then 2 episodes later, you finally go to their base. But you've seen it already. Yeah. I'm glad they haven't done none of that. All we know about them is these guys in the aquarium or whatever at the court.
Agreed. Yeah, I just thought like the collective stupidity, sudden stupidity of everyone being surprised about we're going to the under the sea to meet with them. It just felt very stupid for the sake of a cliffhanger. Anyway, we jumped all the way to the end of episode 2 now.
We've gone all over the place. We've kind of ignored our process of going chronologically or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
So earlier on, we talked a bit about Russell Tovey and Barkley and all that. I think we need to talk about Gugum Bathara and her portrayal of Salt.
She's pretty good.
Yep.
She's great.
Yeah, pretty good.
I think I don't know how much of her outfit is CG and how much of it is practical, but
the ears are got to be CG.
The fins,
the ears, I'm sure, or the fins, whatever, are probably CG. But even just like the costumes, the blending of her made up skin into the scales on the top of her head, like even that looks great.
Yeah,
like,
they did a great job.
And even the
fantastic. They're supposed to be kind of looking like the Sea Devils. I mean, a small part of me, because Legend of the Sea Devils had old school Sea Devils, I'm like, they done my boys dirty. but a bigger part of me is like, of course they're going to change it around, and why shouldn't they?
Well, you got to sell the new toys.
Exactly.
In 3 years' time.
Malibu Stacy, et cetera, yes.
Yeah, all the new toys that come with the Doctor Who spin-offs.
The phenomenal success of War Between.
Yeah.
Over and above her outfit and the fins on her head and all that kind of stuff. Just even the way she moves. Like there's
attracts me like no other lover.
There was yes, there was design and purpose behind that, and it's for lack of a better word, alien. It's not human body movement quite as such. There's a difference to it, a more greater stiffness and whatnot. And I just thought that they did a very good job of making, for what we've seen so far anyway, making Salt a very complete character,
and alien,
especially with her Gugu's portrayal.
Yeah,
she feels properly alien. You know, I mean, even though I guess she's not technically an alien because she's from Earth, but you know what I mean. They feel different. They're not like just some guy in a mask, which is what the Sea Devils were.
And there's a mystery to it because the rather forced, like, oh, they're coming up through the pipe, quick. We have to name their species right now. This has to happen immediately.
I could see that happening in reality, but I still think it's kind of dumb.
It's like, quick, before they come up the pipe, we got to call them something.
And then never actually use those words with them.
Ever do.
Just internally.
Yep. But Salt is what we'll call Homo amphibia, because it's like not sea devil, not fish.
Kind of human-y.
Yeah, a little bit human-y.
Which they haven't explained yet, which I'm fine with. In fact, I would rather they're going to. I
imagine they will, but I like that they haven't explained it. You know, they was building up like, oh, this is a third life form. What the hell is this? You know, like, so she's unique in the whole scheme of things as well, which is kind of cool.
So far.
And she was able to morph sex too, which I assume some amphibians can do, which is, I'm guessing, what they're basing it on.
Well, they said at the very beginning about how
about
how there's sort of like a
with the pearl and all that,
which is just a security camera apparently, but
it's a magic wand, is what it is,
kind of,
for better or
MacGuffin.
worse.
Yeah, a little bit.
I did find it kind of funny though that she morphs into a he, and then all of a sudden they're listening to her. I'm like, okay, that's a little over the top, but I get it. Like,
right. Or is it just the rage comes out because Salt gets really angry, and then that sort of morphs into a male, so to speak.
She goes dude mode, which I get the point you're making, and I kind of appreciate it regardless of how over the top it might be.
I'm wondering if, and this is probably just me being stupid.
All right.
So just the name of the character, because you've got the old adage, the salt of the earth.
Right.
Yeah,
is this
maybe
a play on that salt is from the sea, or is it just like salt water in the ocean, or
is there pepper down?
I've been trying to think of like the genesis of why the character is called Salt.
Well, she does say you wouldn't. Something along the lines of you wouldn't be able to understand.
You wouldn't. My title doesn't translate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You may call me Salt for some reason. Yeah.
Well, actually, it's not you may call me Salt. It's you may call me Salt. Like she's only giving permission to Barclay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she's it's curious. There's some mystery going on there, and I don't know what's happening, which is great. I like not knowing everything.
Yes, it's very great.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
it's got me looking forward to what else is yet to come.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, me three. I'm enjoying it. I didn't think I would. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Without saying too much, I mean, we've got there's people we know and friends who have they've seen previews before it hit the broadcast, and
they have,
and we haven't been given spoilers. We haven't been we haven't been told plot lines, whatever, outside
moods.
of
We've been given
any media stuff.
Moods, yeah.
But moods and vibes and feels and opinions and some generalities and all that, and I'm. No disrespect to any of these fine folks, but I'm enjoying things more than I think the impressions we've been given.
Let's say that the people we've been talking to are Brits, and Brits are famously hard to win over. So there's that.
True.
Too. Unlike us hapless North Americans.
That's maybe.
Well, I also think maybe kind of like us, they've been a little bit jaded by.
Oh, that too.
Well,
that was what I was going to ask you, Stephen, because I walked into this going, whatever, and was pretty pleased. You walked into it as you usually do, and this is not a character flaw. Right. Optimistic, like guardedly optimistic, and you didn't have the same impression. So,
well, I mean, the moods. I have to say, the moods, as Chris has alluded to, I haven't read the moods.
I haven't read back any of the messages either.
Nor have I either, but I'm really curious. I want to read them after the fact. Once we're done all this, just to see what they thought at certain times in certain episodes. But you're right. So I have to admit that kind of diminished my enthusiasm a little bit. But I mean, we'll get to it later on about what the rest of the public thought, because I was worried more than anything that, oh God, no one's going to care about this because there's no Doctor in it. There's no Doctor Who element in it, apart from a couple little mentions of, which we haven't talked about yet, actually, about the mentions of the Doctor.
Is Sunday night still kind of like the death slot for British
God,
TV?
No, Sunday night is like prestige slot, basically.
Okay.
Well, Strictly comes on before this, so yeah.
No, Strictly.
No, that's on Saturdays.
Saturdays.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Saturday is the domain of light entertainment, and I am happy that anything Doctor Who related is no longer there, because
What was on before this then?
I have no idea. It was opposite something else, but we'll talk about that later. The Doctor elements, the mentioning of the Doctor. Kate mentions it once or twice, and for some reason it gets shoehorned in early on in episode 1. Warren, you have thoughts?
I just, one of the things I liked, I've said this before ad infinitum, is one of the things I liked about Jodie's Doctor is Jodie didn't make a big deal out of being the Doctor. And while I'm watching this, and then watching the Sea Devils after this, I was like, in the old days, people would go, what an odd man about the Doctor. And that was it.
Yeah.
That was your big takeaway from everybody. He was a weirdo, a man of mystery who wandered in, did crazy stuff. Jodie kind of did the same thing. Before that, and then after that, it was all, except for Tenet 2, wasn't as much of this. Just look at me, I'm the Doctor, I'm a big profound thing. And yes, I get why they do that, but do they have to do it every time? You don't even need to mention the Doctor in this. And they didn't in Children of Earth. It's not really entirely fair to compare the two, but I was like, you don't need to pause everything and go, oh, the Doctor was this and that. Who cares? What's that got to do with these sea guys?
Yeah.
I think I said this to, was it just you, Stephen? Anyway, I didn't care for the mention of the Doctor. I don't think it was necessary. Mm-hmm. And I think what irked me more was when it happened. Like when Barclay mentions to the sergeant, I met the Doctor once last year in the tower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
It's too soon. If it's going to happen, that's too soon. Like, but by the same token, I don't want episode 5 to roll around and have Kate say like, "Oh, I wish the Doctor was here to help us."
Yeah.
Or something like that. I do appreciate the requirement for UNIT and humanity to have to step up without the Doctor's assistance.
Mm-hmm. Well, there were two that I remembered. The one that I liked is when Barclay immediately goes off script and everything like that, and Kate just like working with the Doctor. I thought that's good. I like that. That's funny. But yeah, the second I like, I saw him in passing once at a tower. Yeah, and I've thought about it every second of my life after. Like, what? Come on, he is vivid. It just reminded me of little Tommy Sangster's speech from Human Nature, Family of Blood. He's a fire and ice, and he sees them. Yeah,
which at the time, fine. But
yeah,
I mean,
then I just it felt like a little overwrought. Exactly. Like, okay, so like him showing up and just being. And you're right, Warren. I like it better when he was very subtle.
Even if that's the case, even if that's true to the story, we've done this for almost 20 years now. We don't need to keep doing this. Yeah. Like we know, we got it, and he's not even in this, or she is not. Whichever Doctor it might be. That was my main question: is which Doctor was it? Presumably, Ncuti Gat was
Probably
Doctor.
Ncuti Gat was.
Yeah.
I mean, because this is a Disney co-pro era thing, it's gonna have to be Ncuti's.
Yeah. Yep, just like Colonel Crichton says in The Five Doctors, who was that strange little man?
Exactly, that's what I love about it. Like, that's who the Doctor is supposed to be. Some weirdo.
That's also in the wake of the Doctor having just been there, which is a little bit different contextually than Barclay's bit.
Yeah.
And just to answer the earlier question, Strictly Come Dancing was the lead-in to the War Between.
Oh, wow.
The results episode.
Oh,
the one time I cheered Strictly.
Yeah, the results.
So Warren was mostly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my motto.
We've been at this for like 50 minutes, I think, bouncing around both episodes from what I gather. Chris has taken some notes for both episodes.
A handful. Yeah.
What do you got, Chris? Those talking points.
Sure. One thing that I didn't really care for, Pierce's hand waving away of Barclay's presence, saying, this is one big chain of mistakes, with what, and then, starts spouting, unit rules about, times of historical impact and the observer and all that kind of stuff. You're just pulling stuff out of your butt at that point.
Here's a camcorder. You're up, exactly.
Yeah. And then, Barclay talking to the sergeant, and she's like, I worked my butt off for 3 years at St. Andrews, and you just blundered in by mistake. It's like, okay, fine, whatever. Yes, we've barely spoken about Dylan Holmes Williams. The camera move when Salt asks to speak with Barclay, just zoom across the
almost like the wings, the shot from Wings going across different tables and stuff. It sort of
it conveys his panic well. I think it's like, oh God, what?
It's great. Love that bit.
Yeah. What if that was a drone shot or was a like a crane shot? I wonder.
A lot of times what that is there's a pullback and they reverse it and they just have the actor say it backwards. Like in Contact, when they do the eye move, that's one of those. I mean, there's plenty of those, but that's an easier way to do it than it is to zoom right in. Because you've already focused, right? So
right. I would imagine it's probably a crane shot, but it feels kind of quick. Maybe it was sped up in post.
Might have been sped up and then slowed down
that's
when
true
they got to him. Yeah.
Salt says that only Barclay showed their kin kindness, but Pierce had this dead Sea Devil's pearl returned. Was that not also kindness?
And politically corrected, to use the proper term, his soldiers. Also, I always find it interesting that avowed atheist, and I count myself amongst them, RTD, always likes to throw religious stuff in there for the hell of it. And not in a mean way either, just in a kind of interesting way.
Yeah.
And even Barclay even says, like, I'm not even religious, so he don't know why he does the sign of the cross, but he does. But I mean, the point being, really, Barclay's not the only one who showed kindness, so it's a bit dismissive of Pierce's contribution. And it's not like Pierce was the one that killed the other Sea Devil that was strung up or whatever.
Yeah, he did kill a bunch of kids way back when, so amongst other people.
As he do. I mean, whatever. It's been 16 years, so enough time has passed, I'm sure.
Yes, let's give him his due after child murder and the previous child murder, which he had nothing to do with in the 60s.
So, formally, that's all the notes I had for episode 1. So moving on to episode 2.
Wow.
So we see the present day. This is awkward, but the present day former leader of the Albion Party, the right wing dude with his family in front of the country estate thing. The Albion Party is the party of Roger Ap Gwilliam from 73 Yards.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed is that guy doesn't look a million miles away from Nigel Farage.
He looks like just generic.
He reminded me of someone else,
politician dude.
Yeah, I'm going to look him up now
which is kind of what Nigel Farage looks like too.
Old white guy.
Yeah.
I found it to be again. I don't know if this is. The script specifically, or if it's Williams or whatever. But I found it to be a very interesting choice to have Salt looking directly into the camera as often as she does when she's speaking, or even just reacting.
Just a point of view shot, I guess, basically of Barclay, from what I can gather.
Yeah, kinda in at least some of the instances, but it's we don't necessarily get that fourth wall-ish kind of thing with just general dialogue delivery. What else we got here? Kate was sent the wrong taxi and ended up in Splot, which is often mentioned in Torchwood.
Oh, forgot about that.
Only once or twice in the actual show, more in the expanded universe, as it were. But yeah, so we got that in the album party. So we got some throwbacks, I guess.
Also, RT loves a one-syllable gag name, like Klum and so forth.
Splot. Yeah.
Klum, yeah.
Yeah, Splot or Splo, as the estate agents apparently refer to it as.
Where's that from? Where's that joke from?
Torchwood.
Was that from Torchwood? Oh, okay.
I can't remember which episode off the top of my head, but Torchwood.
Well,
in general.
bad fan.
I know it was a gag. I couldn't remember where it was from, though. All right.
It is listed on the TARDIS wiki. I just don't remember what the actual episode was.
Copy.
Lobby in the building is used in Children of Earth. Why is Kate calling Shirley Mrs. Bingham all the time, having never called her that? I looked at 4 scripts. 4 scripts.
Right.
Starbeast, and the 3 appearances of Shirley Bingham in Series 15.
Right.
Not once is she called Mrs. Bingham by anybody, let alone Kate.
Why? Well, maybe there's finally some rules and protocols are in place here that
Not that many,
the
clearly.
translator guy is broken. But like, did Shirley go and get married off
And
screen when Lenny Rush was the one time?
She's just being respectful.
replacement?
well,
What
she
the
was
hell?
in Geneva. You know, who knows
Yeah.
what happens in Geneva?
I mean, you get married in Geneva. You do uniconferences.
What happens in
and
Geneva
get
stays in Geneva. Okay.
Maybe the Brig and Doris all those years ago had a good time in Geneva too. We never know. We'll never
Maybe
know.
they're Shirley's parents. And she just got adopted or something. I don't know.
Okay, speaking of
cares?
that, you
Yeah.
may get this in your notes. I like that when Ibrahim talks about his dad, we do not hear about the Brig. I'm like, okay, good. Some
Yeah.
self-restraint here. We
yeah.
don't need to hear a
Yeah.
paean, but she just kind of looks wistful, and I'm like, that's good enough.
Yep.
If you know, you know. You don't need to otherwise.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but I agree.
Although
And
I thought
also-
the rest of that scene was pretty weak sauce, but anyway.
Erica watched it and she says, I still don't agree with the HR nightmare of this, but you get it, girl. So, which
I mean, fair. I can understand that point of view
Yeah.
as well, but
yeah. I know. It almost
he's a
felt,
handsome fella.
It almost felt like, oh no, I don't. This is like seeing your parents like have like romantic feelings, just like
Well,
the
it's like
feels-
seeing your parent, and this is a little ageist, frankly, and coming from me, that's
Yeah.
not cool either. But it's kind of like seeing, because Ibrahim is a young, I'm gonna say he's like 30 something in story
Oh,
time.
I don't know.
So
I
I'm
think
like,
he's
it's kind of like
he's
seeing your
older.
mom with her new boyfriend, and it's like, wait a minute. And I don't mean that in an ageist way. I mean that in as a little kid, you're like, what?
Right.
kind of way.
I also don't think it's necessarily a good thing to, like, for him to calm her down is basically, he sexes her up. And it's like,
I just don't want hanky panky in the unit, is what I don't want, basically. Which is just me being an old person and
felt
an
weird.
old fan.
I know
so.
it felt weird. It wasn't being prudish. It just felt kind of weird. Like, no, this doesn't happen in unit.
But that may
What's
be down to
going
me basting a Doctor Who all my life, so
Yeah,
maybe that's part of it.
I think Corporal Bell had her choice of squatties, and it's just happened ever since.
It probably has, but I'm better off not knowing about it.
That's true.
I
Yeah.
don't. I have no objection. I mean, yes, HR nightmare. I agree with that, but I have no objection. To
Yeah,
the
I don't have any
romance or whatever.
objections. It's just my weird little 12-year-old kid going, "Oh no, we can't see. You don't want to see your parents making out." That's yeah.
Not to mention as well, when you see them at her flat, their flat, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
their interactions with each other are dramatically different from like their professional life.
Oh, yeah.
They should be. She's in
seem
command,
to be,
right?
They
So,
seem
yeah.
to be keeping the two things quite separate, which is
Good. Which they weren't doing in Doctor Who. Let's
That's
face
true,
it. The way
yeah.
we were moon eyeing at each other.
Well,
Yeah.
everyone knows Doctor Who's all about the hanky panky
I
everywhere.
know. Yeah. Yeah, and there was like one, there wasn't much profanity. Like Kate almost said the S words, but so did Bill.
I like how they cut around that.
Yeah, so did Bill in Doctor Who once. So like, even though it was intended to be aired at a later time slot, like there was some maturity going on in the way they dealt with it. I thought like it didn't feel like we need to like placate to children at any point during this.
Well, we haven't gotten to the man-fish makeout session in episode 3 yet, which I'm assuming is coming.
Possibly.
I like that. I like that thing you sent, Oren, with the
the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thing?
TMNT logo, just saying Russell Tovey's sexy fishwife,
You can't get it out of your head in the TMNT theme once you've read it.
because it matches with the theme. It does.
And she is a sexy fishwife, I got to say. Just to be a huge hypocrite from what I just said about Kate and Ibrahim.
I'm just gonna move along here.
Yeah, you probably should.
I wanted to talk a bit about the glass of water thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean the glass of water thing. I appreciate the sneakiness of the trick. There's no way in hell the audience should expect anything like Salt is going to drink the water. It's like F you humans. This is what you've done. Now you deal with what we've been dealing with.
Uh-huh.
Also,
and
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that's fine, and I forget if it was after episode 1 or 2, but when we were watching it the other night, Kat said, "I like this show. I like its predictability." Not quite an exact quote, but I mean that was a very predictable thing with the glass
That's a
of water.
very Cat thing to say too, actually. But
And then on top of that, even though we have that, and it's very obvious where it's going and stuff. Do we need 5 heavily armed soldiers shuffling to an SUV to go get it?
I know. There was don't turn your back on the water. Don't turn your back on the water. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, fair enough. Like, in case they're worried about Homo Aqua popping up out of the river and attacking them or something like that, which how would they know where they are?
Yeah.
But it just seems so over the top.
How long of a trip was that? And like, how long did they just stand there in awkward silence while they waited
The establishing shots of where they are for Imperial House seem to be right by the damn Thames.
Yet they still hopped in the car to do it. You know, they still hopped in the Jeep.
What is this, in a small town Alberta? That's what everybody does in a small town Alberta.
Is that some sort of backhanded, you're not actually environmentalists kind of...
My thing is the water thing is a clever turnaround, and so is, I mean, basically the garbage from the sky is kind of the same gag. It's fine twice. We don't keep doing this. Don't go, haha, it's on you now. Like, we don't need that for 3 more episodes. Just do something else, which I'm sure they're going to do. So.
And we'll find out if you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
I loved the big FU to humanity by having all the plastic and whatnot dropped onto land, especially the boat anchor and the Titanic.
The anchor especially was good, because it's really threatening.
The Titanic being the coup de grace. I liked it. Sorry, Stephen. And last thing I had was both each of the first 2 episodes end with Barclay saying, okay, to a very insane request.
Another one that works twice. Don't keep doing it that way.
Yeah. Just
we don't need 11 Colin Baker crash zooms.
Go back to the Titanic for just brief. At some point, they're gonna have to deal with it. What are they gonna do? You know, they've talking for decades about raising the Titanic. They're just gonna put it back where it was. I mean, you know, like, this is the problem when you make everything a worldwide event. You got to put the toys back in the box at some point. And how are you gonna do that? And
they're not going to. They won't.
They're just gonna sit there. Just gonna sit there in New York. Here's a Titanic now. It's here now.
Hey, put it on the Intrepid, which has all sorts of planes and stuff on the deck. Just throw the Titanic into Intrepid. I've been in it. It's a huge aircraft carrier. There's more than enough room for the Titanic on that thing.
There's that promo image of the Sea Devils near the Statue of Liberty. So we knew that New York was going to be involved, but I fully expect nothing is going to come of this.
Oh, of course not. Yeah,
it was there. It was a gag. They've moved on, and it may as well have never happened.
Here's my complaint: Trinity Wells wasn't crazy enough.
Maybe she's moderate. Maybe she's a little more moderate in her post 2020.
I mean, I kind of like that she's gone Fox News. Like, that's kind of a neat heel turn. But I want more heel turning out of her.
Yeah. Is that it for your notes?
That's it for my notes.
That's it for your notes. All right. Well, there's 2 episodes. Anything else you want to talk about those 2 episodes before we move on?
Despite all the bitching that we've done, I really still enjoyed it.
Yeah,
a lot.
I'm with you, Chris. I kind of it was fun. It was actually fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I wasn't rolling my eyes like I was for a lot of the end of the second season.
I know what you mean, Warren. I am. Apart from, like, you know, I feel like the problems I have were basically major problems, but they were few in number, and that's good, right?
I guess one thing that comes to mind that's worth mentioning is just I loved all the digs at politics and politicians. Craven.
RTD is great at that.
Whatever.
Honestly. He really is.
Yeah. Because, I mean, in a lot of ways, many politicians are really not good people. And should not be representing us. And that's why I liked Barclay stepping up and saying, maybe us regular folks should be heard more loudly, or whatever the wording was.
Yeah. Very true. Well, next.
Yes. Sorry. One last thing.
Yep.
When Kate and the Prime Minister and what's his pickle, as you called him, the first ambassador, are just walking down the hallway, and the ambassador says, "Is she a she?" or, you know, whatever, talking about Salt's gender. And the ambassador just makes non-committal, like, burbling sounds, like.
I mean, fine. That's how you should approach this. Who cares if she is or isn't?
I just found that funny.
Right.
No, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
All right. Well, if that's it, then I have to talk for about because Chris has demanded the return of this. We weren't going to talk about this.
Warren agreed.
Acquiesced.
Warren agreed, but it's kind of relevant that it's the return of. Because it's the fascinating thing is, like, I was worried. Yes, I know stats. Is that I was worried about the ratings. I got to be honest with you, because I thought, it's no Doctor Who. It's on a Sunday night. What are they going to do? Kids, the episodes did better than Doctor Who did. So that's
for overnights. Yeah.
For overnights. That's a thing. Now, it was on a different night. It was on a different time, which is later, which technically should get fewer things. It was not dropped on iPlayer earlier in the day, so there's that to factor in as well. But it was like opposite, like what the finale of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here on the other side or something.
It was on after Strictly, so that probably helps. And also, some people are going to watch this and go, I don't know what the hell Doctor Who is, or they vaguely know, but they don't care.
Yeah,
and this doesn't really, other than one little bit that annoyed us, doesn't really go into it. So
yeah,
I think if there's a Strictly effect, that's very much shown by the difference in numbers between the first and second episodes. As
also, it's later too. Sure, like 8:30 it started, then 10. Oh, I guess 9:30 for the last episode, or 9:15. Yeah. 2.82 million overnights for the first episode, 2.05 for the second. Again, Sunday night. So like by the time the thing ended, it was like 10 o'clock. So so that's intriguing to me. I was not expecting that. I imagine, first nights always are more than what actually eventually turns out for the thing. And even they've been promoting it as, like, oh, you have a nice box set to watch over Christmas. So even they're not like concerned about the overnight viewing figures and such, but surprisingly good.
I do appreciate you mentioning that it wasn't dropped on iPlayer in advance, because that is probably going to have at least some impact on the iPlayer numbers when they get released in time.
Yeah.
But I'm really curious to see the 7s and 28s on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. We might report on them. We might not. This might be a one-off return of the unclearable stats theme, according to the YouTube algorithms. But yeah, I thought it was worth mentioning. Is that? But now, I think the last thing we do before we get back to conterminous time is the Sea Devils Redux. Chris watched half of it. Warren watched it all. I watched it all. Your thoughts on that? The 90-minute Redux that Benjamin Cook re-edited with music, added music with Lauren Balfe, somehow interpolating with Malcolm Clark's original iconic score from the original.
Well, that's my main takeaway. Is I quite liked actually the new music. But I also kind of miss the insane theremin. I don't know, what's not a theremin? Shut up, fans. Like the insane electronic stuff of the Radiophonic Workshop back in the day, which is just loony, but still kind of great.
It was still there, though. There were still large portions
there is some
of it there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem as in your face as which I kind of loved about the old ones.
Yeah. I watched it and thinking, like, I don't see the joins as much as I thought I would. Like, the War Games is really tough to chop down 10 episodes and all the subplots into one. And I think of Daleks as well, just because of the way it was shot, mostly with Richard Martin's, tight group shots that he basically had the whole episode shot in. A lot difficult to edit around. But this, I felt, was like, as I was watching, like, wow, I thought this was going to go, but it's still there. So how are they going to make up for this later? Clangers still there. You cannot take out the clangers.
No, absolutely not.
And I bet you Benjamin Cook probably knew that.
I was fully expecting them to take out the clangers.
I was fully glad they didn't. Not. I knew that of anything, that would be the one thing that people would just say, no, you cannot take out the clangers, So
if they ever do a redux of Last of the Time Lords, I wonder if Teletubbies will be on the chopping block. As far as like the edits and creating the redux version and all that kind of stuff, this is the shortest source story at 6 episodes.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it's the easiest one to work with, but it's definitely the shortest so far.
There's one bit I did notice, and maybe this is just up to me being stupid, but it probably is. But at one point, the doctor mentions to Joe, that creature in the cave. I'm like, wait a minute, did they cut that out? Because I don't remember off the top of my head. Or is he referring to the Silurians, which Joe wouldn't know anything about?
They showed they had a quick little cut, like actual flash, couple images.
Previous to that, when they're in that oil base or whatever, that he mentions things in a cave. So I'm like, I don't remember if they did anything in the original OG Sea Devils. Okay. Yeah,
no.
So he's referring to the Silurians.
He is referring to the Silurians.
That's Liz Shaw. That's not Joe Grant. So that's confusing anyway. So whatever.
I mean, look at, just to duck back to the War Between for a moment, look at them when they were looking at their tablets and Barclay's sitting on the couch and just like doom scrolling through Black Archives photos and whatever.
Good point.
There's nothing saying Joe
fair enough.
hasn't been made aware of the Silurians.
That's probably true too,
Yeah. read
but
the
that
files.
was really the only one I could point to.
Yeah.
But I still felt this kind of dragged a bit just because the story drags no matter what. Even an
Right.
hour and a half, I'm like, all right, get on with it. But as opposed to the 2.5 hours or whatever the original is.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm not going to get too much into the weeds here, just because I did only watch the first half. I ran out of time.
It's a lot to watch over the course of a couple days for us here. Let's face it.
Yeah, especially trying to do multiple viewings and all that as well.
Yeah.
One of my biggest bugbear, and it happens right out of the gate. So you've got all this preamble. The Doctor and Joe are on the boat. They're on the water. They get to the thing. They go through all the stuff with the passes just to visit the Master. They're in there talking to the Master for like 1 minute.
That's the original story too. That's the original story. Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to go back. It's been a little bit since I watched season 9, even though,
Right.
well, when did the Blu-rays come out? 2 years ago?
A while ago. You had
2.5.
You famously opened up. I made you open up the
Yes.
plastic from the UK version.
All right. Yes, that's
Yes.
Saga.
And then at the time I only had my Xbox One, and it wouldn't read the UK discs. Anyway, I haven't gone back to see how long that all takes in the actual 6-part version, but it just really struck me, and I assumed it was a victim of editing, that there's all this stuff going on, and they're there for 1 minute.
I know.
Because I didn't get the chance to watch it all. Do they still have the sword fight in the sandwich?
Yes.
All that?
Yes, it's there.
I know.
Good.
I was surprised. Like I think
That's fluff.
the throwing of the knife was not there because that's
Does it
sort of
switch to Laserdisc and back? Is that there?
yeah, that's still there. But
Okay,
because
good.
the throwing of the knife is basically the cliffhanger of that one episode. That was sort of excised. Like I feel there weren't large portions of the plot excised. There were just like little trims to each bit here and there. That really kind of added to it. Yeah.
Well, I
really good job.
I noticed they were able to keep like the two maintenance dudes on the sea fort, like
Yep.
when they're sitting there playing poker. It's like they had the time and the opportunity to let that happen. So
Yep.
presumably other stuff would have been let in that might have been cut if it was a 7 or 8 or 10 part source story.
Right. I look forward to someone making a comparison video to what was chopped out, or a chart or something like that. I'm sure. I think Paul Smith of Wonderful Books has done a chart. Here's what made it in with Pyramids of Mars, because that was also cut down from from
Unacceptable.
100 minutes to 75
Touch
minutes.
nothing.
Yeah. So it's not the first time that something's sort of been cut down just slightly compared to the War Games and stuff.
Most importantly, do we lose any Mexican gunfighters?
Not in this one. Where's the Sea Devil with a sombrero?
Actually, it's added in.
I'm asking for
Pansylvia
it.
is colorized and added in to instead of the Walker from the Ministry. It's actually the Mexican gunfighter.
Well,
in
speaking
this
of
episode. Very
jerk-ass
strange.
politicians,
Yeah.
I kind of love this jerk-ass politician coming in and demanding breakfast and just being a sexist
Yep.
a-hole
Yep.
and just completely missing the point the whole way through.
I thought he would be
I love
mostly
that
chopped
stuff.
out too, but he wasn't. So just like there was no massive excising of anything. It was just sort of like slightly trimmed and updated. And I haven't watched the rather crudely cut together original 90-minute omnibus of this that I think probably aired at Christmas in like 1975 or something like that. But apparently it's a bit, it's 1975. They probably just they didn't rescore it. They just chop, just sort of made a version of it. So I imagine this is probably the more preferable version for an omnibus. And it's the original's still there. You don't have to worry about it. This is just a remix, if you will. I enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed it.
Well, you mentioned so it's the Tales of the TARDIS cut for Pyramids, right?
Yes.
That is on, or is that not on season 2 Blu-ray in the UK? I think it is. I might be wrong, but I think it was part of the season 2 Blu-ray.
You
release.
might be. We'll find out.
I'll look it
I
up in a
suppose.
moment. But
I wonder if we'll get that, by the way, and when it finally comes out in North America, given that it wasn't supposed to, on there in the first place. But
I was going to say, so we got the Daleks and War Games both as standalone Blu-ray releases. Pyramids, like I say, I'll look it up. I think we have that on the season 2 Blu-ray at least in the UK. We'll find out here next, in 6
May
months or
June
whatever.
or something. Yeah.
We still haven't heard anything yet about a standalone release of this, though, right?
Mm-hmm. I think I actually talked to Benjamin Cook about this briefly. I think he hopes the hope is that perhaps this comes out on the physical release of The War Between the Land and the Sea, as an extra for that. Which, given that Disney Plus has no plans on when they're gonna actually air this, who knows when we're going to see this in North America, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it might be 2027 by the time we get The War Between.
That'll be our new Doctor Who
on Blu-ray.
2027.
Yeah, on Blu-ray in North America. So this is why I have zero problem with acquiring these things now to review on the podcast, because come on, we're not waiting until 2027 to talk about a thing that we can actually physically watch. For crying out loud, it's ridiculous.
Two things I like about the OG and this, I mean, it's going to be in both, is Delgado. Like, this is not news, but damn, he's so good.
Oh,
he's just so good.
Just incredible.
Plus, the fact that they had Royal Navy participation in this, it really does add a lot to it. Like when they're in a diving belt and it's an actual diving belt, it's kind of cool.
It is cool. Yeah, very cool.
There's also 70s stuff too, so I'm like, 70s.
Yeah,
big effects,
right.
Big,
exactly.
chunky garbage.
Yeah. I don't think you get that today. You have to buy all of that stuff for some reason. But back then it says, "Oh, please, we need some positive press. Yes, we'll be your volunteers for your Doctor Who episode."
Tales of the TARDIS: The Pyramids of Mars is on season 1. Blu-ray.
Is it really?
Which means we've got that in our respective other rooms. I'm not running over
I'm not either.
to see if it's on the, but I'm assuming it's on the North American one as well.
Yeah. All right. Is that it? Is that it for our spoilery talk? Okay.
It's a fun little lark, that Sea Devils.
Yep. And a fun little lark for The War Between the Land and the Sea, about
so
which
far, yeah.
We'll talk more next week. But for now, we're back in the room. We're back in the room where it happened now.
My Hamilton ban, which I probably established years ago, I'm betting I did, stands.
Yeah.
What's that, Warren? You're a Hamilton stan?
We're back
I am not a Hamilton stan.
No, we're back in the room is a Britain. What's that show? Little Britain thing. Yeah.
The hypnotist. Yeah.
The hypnotist thing. That's what that's
Kenny something?
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, you just missed us talking for an hour and 20 minutes about the first 2 episodes of The War Between the Land and the Sea, and also the Sea Devils Redux. If you don't care about spoilers, go back and listen to that, if you will. But now the rest of the news as it pertains to Doctor Who. There's an online auction coming up in 2026 in a partnership with Prop Store that has a whole bunch of Doctor Who props, including a full-size Dalek.
How much is that going for, I wonder?
$12.
Sure, yeah.
At
Thousands. Thousands, I hope.
Yeah. I'm going to bid for Warner Brothers with this Dalek, and that's it. Here's a Dalek. Here you go.
Yeah, the Dalek is the feature item. It's from Asylum of the Daleks. I wonder if it's the one from Exelon, Chris.
It would, sure. Why not?
It has Exelon written at the bottom of it.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, all of it goes to children in need and everything. If you have a lot of money and apparently a lot of patience for things to be shipped to you, like a Dalek. How do you pick up a Dalek? What if you win this thing? Like, what do they do? You gotta pick it up yourself, I assume. Like they're not gonna flat pack it or something. You put
comes to your door and exterminates you.
I guess so.
It could be disassembled, sure.
Probably.
I mean, that kind of takes the impact away.
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, I find it laughable that only 20%, as it says, 20% of the net hammer price will go to children in need. It's like, okay, 20%. Like, what?
Wow.
Why? That seems like such a little amount.
That seems low. Yeah.
Your operating costs to run this auction are not going to be 80% of the take, I'm sure.
No.
Think of 20% of the children.
Something's dodgy here. Something's dodgy, but
we're missing 6 cinder blocks. There will be no children's hospital.
Exactly.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. Anyway, if you want to read over 200 costumes and props, the auction goes between 3rd of February, my birthday. Hint, hint, if anybody wants to buy me a Dalek from Asylum of the Daleks.
Boy, do I.
Till the 19th next year. That's when the auction goes. So there you go.
And as importantly as anything, it says that This will give fans globally the opportunity to own a piece, so you don't have to really only just be in the UK
Wow.
For once.
to partake.
Can you imagine the shipping of a Dalek? That's a whole lot of money.
Yeah, it's true. Factor that in when you're buying one for me for my birthday.
I will. It's factored. Not doing it.
Thank you. Boy, this clickbaity headline: Lost Doctor Who adventure with William Hartnell on classic villain finally added to the BBC iPlayer. It's a Celestial Toymaker. It's the animated version of the Celestial Toymaker, not some missing episode that's been returned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my favorite version of this, even though I was not into a Doctor Who, is recently I saw Doctor Strange is not in Doomsday, but he is in Secret Wars. And then their proof of this is some Lego game. Or not a game. It's a Lego adventure on Disney Plus. I'm like,
oh my God.
Okay, Screen Rant. Like, you are atrocious to begin with, but that is beyond the pale.
Come on.
Anyway, so back to this one. Back to this clickbait crime.
Yeah, iPlayer. I mean, iPlayer's had a lot of the animated recons available there for some time, like, Power of the Daleks, Galaxy 4. Oddly enough, Galaxy 4 does not include the actual existing episode of Galaxy 4. What is the demented son of William Ems now, like, withholding his episode of that? Just like the demented son of Anthony Coburn withholding
Is there a carbon monoxide in the daycare at BBC? What's going on here?
I don't know what's going on, or maybe it's just an oversight. Probably just an oversight. Anyway,
They probably just took the kids to the BBC bar at too young of an age.
Could be it. Anyway, the Celestial Toymaker is now on iPlayer. The 4 animated episodes and also the existing one episode, which might have been there already. I'm not too sure. I did see when looking for this that Daleks, the 3 episodes that are existing of the Daleks Master Plan are there anyway. So they might have already had it on there, but now they have the bonkers, and quite frankly, rightfully bonkers, animated version of the Celestial Toymaker.
Yep.
Now on iPlayer.
I think we're all on record of saying that we dig the animation style.
Oh, yeah. Like,
even though a lot of people ragged on it.
It's the animation style totally fits it. That totally fits how crazy the story is to begin with. But I can only watch it in episodic form because I'm like, okay, this is a lot of stuff flying into my eyeballs at once.
Yeah.
Like, there's only so much of this I could take. Not that it's bad. It's intense.
It's a lot.
And that's not a bad thing. That's how it was intended to be watched.
Yeah.
So you're just fulfilling what it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
Yep, I agree. Yeah.
Exactly. A couple big Finnish things to overanalyze the artwork for. The Ninth Doctor adventure Cloud 8 is coming out in February of 2026. Features the Ninth Doctor as played by Christopher Eccleston and Rose. Billy Piper plays Rose. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
What?
Yeah, I know. It comes out.
The Doctor? The 16th Doctor
She
herself?
might be, she's probably the Doctor too. But,
Bad Wolf Girl?
Bad Wolf Girl. What else has she been in?
Call Girl Diarist?
That's exactly her.
The woman from Wednesday?
Which she's probably best known for, frankly.
Yeah.
Anyway. Possibly.
that's coming out in February. There's TV screens and boxes flying around, and the Planet Earth. Planet Earth is always in there for some reason, and
the usual
cables and
Gallifreyan writing in the back, which is always in there for some reason.
That's true. Well, it makes a nice motif, honestly.
Oh yeah, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Not criticizing.
Anyway,
I just wonder who these random people on the screens are.
I don't know. Are they people from Big? Well, one of them is Doctor Who. There's 2 of them that are Doctor Who.
I can make out Eccleston and Billy Piper. Yes.
One of them looks like Jigsaw from the Saw movies.
Probably not.
The one
probably
with
not.
the face skin back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's faceless ones. Who knows? No. Anyway, it's coming out. That's coming out in February of 2026. But out now is Doctor Who Empty Vessels with Paul McGann, Nicola Walker, Hattie Monaghan, who with Zygons. There's Zygons in this one, and twins. And Paul McGann in his leather coat that he wore in New Zealand. It said, "This is my costume now," so they made it his costume.
Looks good.
Yeah.
I love the range of emotions being portrayed at the left of the artwork.
I know.
It's like looking down in, like, I don't know, disgust or whatever, and then looking up in amazement, and yeah.
The Zygon looks constipated, honestly.
Well, I mean, they're probably mid-transition or something like that between Zygon and whatever thing he's going to be.
Proton, the mid-transition.
Sure. Exactly. Anyway, That is out now from Big Finish. And lastly, the Doctor Who Appreciation Society has awarded former Doctor Who script editor Andrew Cartmel with the Terrence Dick Award for writers. Shut up. He's the fourth such winner after Gary Russell, Stephen Moffat, and Paul Cornell. He was awarded that recently as well. So
nice.
Good job.
Esteemed company.
Esteemed company indeed. There you go. That's it, kids. That is it for this episode of Radio Free Skaro. As we say, next Wednesday, we'll review episodes 3 and 4 of The War Between the Land and the Sea, safely confined behind glass, a.k.a. the spoiler wall, so that those of you who have not seen it can avoid spoilers until sometime in 2026 when you can watch it on Disney+. Best wishes to you folks who are persevering through that. It's nonsense, but we'll cover it here as it happens on the show. So, in the meantime and in between time, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.